I had always considered myself ordinary. At 26, working as a junior assistant in my boss's marketing firm, my life was a predictable rhythm of emails, coffee runs, and meeting prep. My colleagues were friendly but distant, the office a maze of cubicles and fluorescent lights. Yet, beneath this mundane routine, I carried a secret fascination, a curiosity about femininity, subtle but persistent. Not something I shared with anyone, not even my girlfriend Emma. Emma and I had been together for 3 years, our relationship a mixture of comfort and occasional tension. She adored the practical, no-nonsense side of me, never suspecting that on certain nights, in the privacy of my apartment, I explored a softer, more delicate side of myself. My curiosity about clothes, makeup, and feminine aesthetics was something I could indulge only in solitude, a secret world where I could experiment without judgment. All of that changed the day my boss's daughter, Isabella, appeared at the office. She was 21, vibrant and effortlessly stylish, a stark contrast to the corporate monotony I inhabited. She had just returned from studying fashion design abroad, and her aura commanded attention without even trying. When she smiled, it felt like the room had shifted. The air lighter, the walls taller. I didn't expect her to notice me, but she did. "You," she said one morning, her eyes sharp and playful. "You look different. I mean, I like your face, your posture, but you could do so much more with it." I blinked, caught off guard. Compliments from my boss's daughter weren't exactly common, especially ones that hinted at potential changes to my appearance. I laughed nervously. Thanks, I guess." She smirked, as if she had already made up her mind. "I think you'd look amazing as my sister." The words hit me like a jolt of electricity. My pulse quickened, and my face flushed. "Sister?" I repeated, trying to keep my tone casual. "Yes," she said, leaning casually against the counter. "My perfect sister. Someone who compliments me, who can match me in style. In poise, you could be amazing if you just let me help." I forced a laugh, trying to deflect the strange mix of fear and excitement that welled inside me. "That's flattering, I guess, but I'm not sure I'm the right person for that." Isabella's grin widened, sharp and confident. "Oh, you'll do more than fine. Trust me, I can see it already." From that moment, an undercurrent of tension and curiosity began to weave itself into my life. She started inviting me to assist her with fashion projects, offering subtle guidance on posture, grooming, and even clothing choices. At first, it was casual, selecting accessories for her photo shoots, helping her organize her wardrobe. But gradually, the instructions became more detailed, more insistent. She would adjust my hair, critique my stance, and encourage me to try on outfits she thought would suit me. One evening, after everyone had left the office, she handed me a neatly folded blouse and skirt. "Try these on," she said softly, her eyes gleaming with expectation. "I want to see you fully." I hesitated, my heart pounding. This was not just play anymore. This was transformation, a deliberate, hands-on shaping of my appearance. Something inside me ached with excitement and fear. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to refuse or give in entirely. When I emerged from the office bathroom, the outfit perfectly in place, Isabella's eyes widened. She circled me slowly, her gaze assessing every detail. "Exactly," she whispered, almost reverently. "This is the beginning. You're going to be incredible." I looked at myself in the mirror, at the reflection that was both familiar and alien. My heart raced. The thrill of becoming someone new, someone who existed only in this delicate, feminine form, was intoxicating. And yet, the fear of being discovered, of crossing lines I wasn't sure I wanted to cross, tugged at my conscience. Emma's voice echoed in my mind, the practical, loving voice that had guided me through life's challenges. She would never understand this. Could I ever tell her? The thought sent a shiver down my spine. And yet, Isabella's encouragement, her certainty in my potential, ignited something primal inside me, a desire to see just how far I could go. That night, as I stood in my apartment, carefully arranging the blouse and skirt on my bed, I realized my life had changed. The mundane rhythms of office life, the comfortable predictability with Emma, even my own self-image, everything was shifting. Isabella had opened a door I didn't know existed, and I was both terrified and eager to step through it. Little did I know this was only the beginning. The line between reality and transformation, between identity and desire, would blur further than I ever imagined. And once Isabella had decided I could be her perfect sister, there was no turning back. The next few days felt surreal. Isabella had claimed the role of my mentor, guiding me through an intricate world I had never dared explore. At first, it was small things, adjusting the cuffs of my shirt, recommending colors that flatter my features, or teaching me how to sit and stand in ways that projected elegance. But gradually, the instructions grew more intimate. She would hand me a carefully chosen outfit and say, "Try this. I want to see how you look as me imagined." The first time I slipped into a soft blouse paired with a pencil skirt, my pulse quickened. The fabric felt strange against my skin, delicate and foreign, yet comforting in its own way. She circled me like a sculptor examining her work. "Posture," she instructed, placing her hands lightly on my shoulders. "Chin up, shoulders back, arms graceful. Every movement matters. You're not just wearing clothes, you're becoming them." I stumbled in my high heels for the first few steps. My balance wavered and my cheeks flushed. But she didn't scold me. Instead, she adjusted my stance, guiding me patiently. "Grace is learned," she whispered, "and you will learn it." The thrill of transformation was intoxicating. Makeup became another form of magic. I learned to apply foundation, blend eyeshadow, and shape my lips in ways I had only experimented with in private. Each brushstroke, each careful adjustment, felt like a step deeper into a new identity. Yet with every session, a quiet fear gnawed at me. Emma's face appeared in my mind whenever Isabella complimented me. Would she understand if she discovered this? Or would she see me differently, as someone unrecognizable? The thought made my hands tremble. Isabella, ever perceptive, noticed my hesitation. "You're nervous," she said softly, tilting my chin upward. "Good. That means you care. But don't let fear stop you. Embrace it. Every tremble is part of the process." Days turned into an intricate routine. Mornings were spent at the office, behaving as Alex, competent and professional. Evenings became Isabella's world, hours of posture drills, makeup tutorials, and wardrobe changes. Each session heightened the duality of my existence, the careful separation between the man everyone knew and the woman Isabella was shaping me to be. The real test came when she invited me to her apartment alone. "Tonight," she said with a mischievous grin, "you'll meet your first audience." My heart raced. Audience? Who? What? It was Clara, her friend from fashion school. She arrived casually, but the moment she saw me, dressed meticulously as Isabella's sister, her eyes widened. I felt exposed under her gaze, my pulse hammering. "You look incredible," Clara said softly. I felt a strange mix of relief and shame. Isabella beamed, clearly pleased by Clara's reaction. The night became an exercise in poise, conversation, and subtle performance. Every gesture, every word, every smile had to be calculated. My heels dug into the hardwood floor as I balanced between nervousness and the thrill of being observed, critiqued, and admired. But even as I began to enjoy the attention, the fear never fully dissipated. A text from Emma flashed across my phone. "Can we talk tonight?" Panic surged. Would she discover the secret I was living? Could I explain myself without revealing the depth of my transformation? Isabella noticed my sudden paleness. "Relax," she whispered, guiding my hands to adjust my skirt. "This is your world now, at least for tonight. Focus on that. Everything else can wait." And for that evening I did. I surrendered to the experience, walking, speaking, and even laughing as Isabella's perfect sister. The thrill of transformation, the adrenaline of secrecy, and the intimacy of guidance from Isabella became an addiction. Each night afterward, the sessions grew more complex. She introduced me to higher heels, silk fabrics, and even delicate jewelry that accentuated the feminine silhouette she was crafting. She corrected every flaw, every misstep, with meticulous precision. Yet the suspense deepened. Every sound outside her apartment, every incoming message from Emma, every ring of the doorbell, set my nerves on edge. I was living a life split between desire and fear, curiosity and guilt, exhilaration and secrecy. By the end of the week, I had changed more than appearance. I had become Isabella's creation in a way that was both thrilling and terrifying. My posture, voice, gestures, and even thoughts began aligning with her vision. And yet, the shadow of Emma's possible discovery loomed constantly, a silent reminder of the precariousness of my dual life. Then came the message that shattered my fragile balance. I'm on my way. At home. Now. The moment my phone buzzed, a chill ran down my spine. Emma. At my apartment. What if she discovered everything? The heels, the blouse, the carefully applied makeup? The persona I had been cultivating under Isabella's direction could be exposed at any second. I straightened my skirt, adjusted my wig, and tried to calm the racing of my heart. Isabella's words replayed in my mind. Every lesson makes you better. Tonight, the stakes were higher. Tonight, the thrill of transformation collided with the fear of exposure. I had no idea which version of me, Alex or the feminine persona Isabella had created, would survive when Emma arrived. The moment Emma stepped into my apartment, my carefully constructed dual life began to unravel. I was standing in the middle of the living room, a blush rising to my cheeks as the heels I had grown accustomed to clicked against the hardwood floor. The blouse and skirt Isabella had chosen for me fit perfectly, and my makeup gleamed under the warm light. But all of that, every meticulous detail, suddenly felt like a trap. Emma froze, her eyes widening as she took in my appearance. "Alex," she whispered, her voice a mix of shock, disbelief, and hurt. I tried to speak, but the words caught in my throat. Every lesson Isabella had drilled into me, the poise, the confidence, the feminine elegance, vanished under Emma's gaze. My heart raced, and I felt exposed in a way that was deeper than just physical. Isabella, as calm and controlled as ever, appeared from the bedroom doorway. "Relax," she said smoothly, a faint smirk playing on her lips. "You've done beautifully." Emma's eyes flicked to her, narrowing. "Isabella, what is happening here? Why is Alex dressed like this?" I opened my mouth to answer, but Isabella stepped closer, her hand resting lightly on my shoulder. "Alex is learning. Becoming someone special, someone extraordinary. Don't you want to see what they can be?" Emma looked between us, confusion and hurt etched across her face. "Alex, is this true? Were you pretending for her?" I shook my head, my lips trembling. "It's not like that." But before I could finish, a sharp knock at the door interrupted us. My pulse jumped. Who could it be now? "Open up, Isabella. We need to talk," a familiar voice called. It was Clara, Isabella's friend from fashion school. Isabella's confident smile faltered slightly, a rare crack in her control. "Stay here," she whispered to me, her hand tightening on my shoulder. Emma took a cautious step forward. "Alex, I need the truth. Right now." I swallowed hard. The reflection of myself in the mirror caught my eye, soft features, perfect makeup, delicate posture. This persona Isabella had created was mesmerizing, intoxicating, and terrifying. I like it," I admitted finally, my voice quivering. "Part of me enjoys being this person. But I'm scared, Emma. Scared of what you'll think, scared of being exposed." Emma's eyes softened slightly, but her voice remained firm. "Alex, you should have told me. I love you for who you are, but hiding this, letting someone else control this side of you, isn't fair." Clara's voice outside the door grew impatient. "Isabella, open up. This can't wait." Isabella's composure returned, but it was thinner now, strained. "Alex, stay calm," she whispered. "Whatever happens, you must keep your balance." The door swung open, and Clara stepped inside. Her eyes immediately found me, dressed perfectly as Isabella's imagined sister. Recognition flared. "So this is what you've been doing," she said softly, her tone a mix of admiration and surprise. Emma's hand found mine, squeezing gently. "Alex, I don't understand. Why are you letting her do this?" I looked at Isabella, who smiled with that calm, controlling ease. "Because they wanted to learn," she said. "And learning requires guidance." My knees threatened to buckle. The heels I wore suddenly felt like instruments of my vulnerability. My hands trembled as Clara circled the room, studying me. Every movement had to be perfect, every smile calculated. I felt the weight of 3 people's expectations pressing down on me. And then, my wig slipped slightly, a strand falling across my eye, a perfect symbolic moment. My dual identity, carefully constructed, was cracking under the pressure of scrutiny. Emma gasped softly. "Alex," she whispered, fear and worry in her voice. Isabella stepped forward, adjusting the wig and brushing it from my face. "It's okay," she said, her voice low and reassuring. "Mistakes happen, but you're doing wonderfully." Clara nodded, impressed despite the tension. "You really are transforming into something remarkable." The tension in the room was almost unbearable. Every heartbeat echoed in my chest, every breath felt shallow. I was caught between desire, fear, loyalty, and curiosity. Every secret, every suppressed urge, every thrill of transformation collided in that moment. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Emma. "I love you, but I need to know who you really are." My heart skipped. The duality I had been juggling, the man Emma knew, the woman Isabella created, was at risk of being exposed entirely. I glanced at Isabella, who seemed unshaken, but I noticed a flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. Even she hadn't anticipated this convergence of people, emotions, and secrets. Before I could respond, another knock came at the door. Louder, insistent. Someone else was coming, and I realized that the delicate balance Isabella had orchestrated was on the verge of collapse. The 3 of us, Isabella, Emma, and me, stood frozen, the room heavy with suspense. I felt the heels dig into my feet, my hands shake, my body trembling with anticipation and fear. My dual life, my secret desires, my hidden identity, they were all exposed, hovering on the edge of revelation. And then, just as the doorknob began to turn, everything went black. The door creaked open slowly, and my heart leapt into my throat. Standing there was a figure I didn't expect, my boss, Mr. Reynolds himself. His eyes scanned the room, landing first on Isabella, then on me, and finally on Emma, who still held my hand protectively. "Alex?" His voice was calm, but there was an edge of disbelief that made the air thicken. I froze. Every muscle in my body tensed as I realized that my carefully maintained dual life, the Alex everyone knew and the feminine persona Isabella had been shaping, was hanging by a thread. Emma's grip on my hand tightened. "Dad. I mean, Mr. Reynolds, this is complicated," she began, her voice wavering between calm and panic. Isabella, ever composed, stepped forward, her smile serene but sharp. "We were just experimenting," she said lightly, though the word felt inadequate for the chaos surrounding us. I felt my knees weaken in my heels, the high-fashion ensemble suddenly heavy and confining. Every step I had taken to perfect my transformation, the poise, the makeup, the delicate elegance, was now under scrutiny, and it terrified me. Mr. Reynolds's gaze shifted to me. "Alex dress like her?" The words stumbled from his mouth, disbelief etched into every syllable. "Yes," Isabella said softly, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear as though it were a casual gesture. "Alex has potential. I've been helping them explore it." Emma's eyes filled with hurt and confusion. "Alex didn't tell me. I thought I knew you. How long has this been going on?" I opened my mouth to answer, but the words faltered. Could I explain the thrill, the curiosity, the fear, the desire to transform? Could I tell her that I had willingly stepped into this world, yet now felt trapped by it? Before I could speak, a sudden ring of my phone made the room jump. A text flashed across the screen. I know everything. Be careful. The message wasn't from Emma. It wasn't from Isabella. Someone else knew. Someone watching, waiting, ready to pull the threads of my secret life apart. Panic surged. My heels felt like stakes in my feet. My hands trembled, my carefully cultivated balance faltering. I glanced at Isabella, whose calmness now seemed almost cruel, a stark contrast to my racing heart. Emma's voice broke through my panic. Alex, are you okay? Who sent that? I shook my head, unable to answer. Every option felt like a trap. Every choice a risk. The room seemed to shrink around me as the weight of exposure pressed down. Mr. Reynolds took a step closer, his eyes narrowing. I need to know the truth. Now. I swallowed hard, my reflection in the nearby mirror catching my eye. The Alex they all knew and the persona Isabella had crafted stood there together, inseparable yet impossible to reconcile. My fingers brushed the edge of my skirt nervously, a symbolic gesture of the fragile identity I was clinging to. Isabella leaned close to me, whispering, "Remember everything I taught you. Stay composed. You're still in control if you act carefully." But control felt like a fragile illusion. Outside, a car engine roared, someone arriving, perhaps another witness, another threat. The air buzzed with tension, and my pulse raced so loudly I feared it would betray me. Emma's eyes locked on mine, searching for answers I couldn't provide. Alex, please. Tell me you're not hiding everything. I opened my mouth, ready to speak, but before a single word could leave, the lights flickered and went out. Darkness swallowed the room, leaving only the sound of shallow breaths, racing hearts, and the quiet shuffle of feet on the hardwood floor. In that instant, I realized that the carefully constructed world Isabella had built, the persona I had begun to embrace, and the life I shared with Emma, all were hanging by a thread. And in the shadows, the unknown threat waited to expose everything. All I could do was hold Emma's hand tightly, whisper a silent promise to myself, and wait for the next move, because whatever happened next could change everything.